Again, we have IELTS mock test, general questions. Okay. Now,
Right, sir.
so whatever question I will ask from you. Okay.
Right.
Think over like what vocab you can use. We already have discussed a lot of vocabularies in English.
Right,
Yeah.
sir.
So if I ask to you like what type of my question would be what type of can you see the screen?
No, sir. I'm not
No. One second.
able to see the screen.
Second. Is it visible now? The screen is visible. Is it
Yes,
vis-
it's visible. Yes.
is it visible, right? One second. Okay, my question is, what type of houses and
Houses.
other buildings? I'm asking the question, right? What type of
Right.
houses and buildings should be built? Should be built
Should be built.
to protect and to protect the people. I think we have done this question, the same question. No, we have done. We already have discussed the same question.
Okay.
Have we discussed the same question? You remember?
Uh, I
So let,
think so.
we have discussed, right, to for the destruction of the earthquake. We have discussed, right?
Right, 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 right.
Okay, we have
Yes, yes,
discussed already.
yes.
Okay, no problem. So my next question is, some people,
Sure.
okay, prefer some people prefer to live in rented houses. Some people prefer to live in rented houses, but other prefer own houses. Okay, which one
Right,
do you prefer? Because I just want to see your English now, and
right.
I just want to calculate your vocabulary, your ideas in terms of your communication skills in English language. So I'm asking like some people prefer to live in rented houses, but other prefer own house. Which one do you prefer?
Which one do
Which
you
one
prefer?
do you prefer? So what I would say to my examiner, I can say I prefer whatever you prefer, okay?
I would
To
like to
live in
say
yes, to live in a house, to live.
to live in a
I
house.
prefer to live in a house, okay?
Right.
I prefer to live in a house that I own for many reasons. That up as you cannot say like this. Okay, I want to live in my house. I want to live in my bungalow. I want to live in my apartment. No, you
Right.
have to start the question. I prefer to live in a house that I own. This is a
That
very
I
this is a
own.
English. See, you cannot say because you are giving the international English language testing system.
Right.
That's an IELTS. So if you want to take a good band in your IELTS exam, so you have to have the strategy of the speaking in speaking English language. I cannot say okay I
Right.
prefer to live in
Right.
my own house because my own house I can say my rents I can say my money. No, you have to start like this. I prefer to live in a house that I own. This is we call as corporate English that I own for
On
many reasons. Is that
for
clear
many
to you?
reasons. Right. So
Many
reasons.
for many reasons or for many reasons. However, there can be spelling mistake because I'm just writing
It's
so there
it's
can
all
be a
right. I'm just
typing error.
write down. Yeah.
However,
Just listening.
both
However,
rented houses,
both
however, both
rented
rented houses and
houses,
own houses
own
have
houses,
have merits. You know what is merits? Advantages have merits as well as demerits.
merits like in which term?
Called as advantage and demerits we
Okay,
call as disadvantage. So
disadvantage.
rather saying
Okay,
advantage, I am using the merit vocabulary. Okay.
merits. Okay,
So I prefer to live in a house that I own for many reasons. However, both rented houses and own houses have merits and as well as demerits. Okay.
Right.
Now, a person, so I have to see, I have to justify my statement. If I'm saying there are a lot of advantages, lot of disadvantages, so I have to justify my statement with the help of
Right.
the examples. So I have to
Right.
give them a lot of examples. Is that clear to
Right,
you?
sir. Yes,
A
sir.
person, मैं दे रहा हूँ. For example, a
For
person
example,
who owns a house.
person.
Okay, a
Yes.
person who owns a house can design it. Obviously, if you have your own house, you can design it to your
Right,
own.
sir.
Okay, you can, but the rented accommodation we cannot touch even a wall.
Hmm.
Is that clear to you? A
Yes,
person,
sir.
for example, a person who owns a house can design it, right, or remodel it, or remodel
Remodel.
it the way he desires, the way he or she desires. Is that clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The second is his lifestyle may require, his lifestyle may require, lifestyle may,
Require
his lifestyle, his lifestyle may require certain facilities,
certain
right?
facilities.
Certain facilities, okay? He can include from them in the design. It's just I'm giving you my ideas and you can speak in your own sense. Okay? So he
Right, sir.
can include them in the design. Okay? And you tell me now your ideas. This is the biggest advantage, like this is the biggest advantage
Advantage.
in living in one's own house. In living in one's own house. If you're using the same vocab like one's own house, okay, so that give a good impression to the
Right.
examiner, like you have, you know, the sense of the English language, like in living in one's own house, because you are talking about an individual person, you're not talking about yourself. Okay, so you will say a person who owns a house can design it
Mm-hmm.
or remodel it the way he desires, because you're talking about the second person, right? So his lifestyle may require certain facilities, he can include them in the design. This is the biggest merits or the advantage in living in one own's house. Is it clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the next I would say whereas connectors you have to apply, because the
Yes.
more you will apply the connectors, the more you will get a good bang. So
Right.
whereas if
If
you are, now you're assuming something, you're assuming something now, whereas if it were a rented accommodation,
a
if it
rented
were a
accommodation.
rented house or the accommodation, he is forced to
He
live
is
with whatever is available. He is forced to
he
live
is forced to
to
live.
live with whatever whatever is available. Is it clear to you?
Yes, sir.
So you have to justify your statement. If I asked you, some people prefer to live in a rented house, but other prefer to live in an own house. Which one do you
Yes.
prefer? So what you will say, I prefer to live in a house, or either you can make it your own way. It's just I'm giving you ideas, right? So what you will say, speak up please. What you will say?
I prefer to live in a house that I own for many reasons. However, both rented houses and own houses have
Mm-hmm.
marriage as well as demarriage. A person who owns a house can
Mm-hmm.
renovate his
Very
house
good.
accordingly.
Very good.
He can modify his house's walls and
Mm-hmm.
as well as kitchen
Mm-hmm.
and
Very good.
balcony according
Very.
to him.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
Mm-hmm. Very good.
he can
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Very good.
Uh, he can modify his house according to him, as per
According to his
according to
financial
his
condition.
financial condition, according to his mindset, according to his according what he wants exactly.
Very good, very good. Up now, of course, many people, very good. Many people live in rented houses.
Yes.
Many people live in rented houses because most many people live in rented houses because they find
Live in.
find building or buying a house or buying a house beyond their means.
Yes.
Beyond their means. So what I'm saying is, of course, many people live in rented houses because they find building or buying a house beyond their means. But
Beyond their
many
means, matlab, beyond their means.
for beyond their means, yes, that is out of their reach. Many people, why
Okay,
people
out of
live in
reach,
rented houses?
financial
Because they
condition.
find building or buying beyond their means. Matlab ki
Right.
beyond their means is to reach out of their,
Hmm, 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 hmm. Right.
okay, they cannot reach their property.
Hmm.
Sometimes you buy, okay,
Right.
because for example, if I saw, for example, I'm in Mumbai and I work over there, okay, and I'm working over there, I saw
Right.
a bungalow, but yes, I can afford the rent of the bungalow, but I cannot buy it out because that is beyond my means. Is that clear to
Right.
you?
Yes.
Out of reach, okay. So,
Right.
uh, but many argue that with the high rental in cities and towns, very good.
But
With
man, argue with
the high rentals and in cities, high
in
rental in
cities
cities and towns
and towns.
and towns, own a house is less expensive on a house because you have to justify your statement, right? Which one
Right.
do you prefer? It is not you will tell them advantages and disadvantages. You have to tell them your views also. Like what do you prefer? So what do you say? But many argue that with the high rental in cities and towns, okay, towns, in the long run, okay, I can say
Okay.
I can make it is a very best way in the long run, very best way. मतलब इसका मतलब क्या है कि कब तक
Okay.
मैं रेंट में ही रहता रहूंगा एक लंबे समय तक, right?
Right.
So but argue that with the high rentals, very high, if you are paying 20,000 rent, so can't you think so
Right.
you can take the loan from the bank and you can pay the install, you can pay your EMIs, you can pay,
EMIs
you can,
and
that's a
buy a
repayment
house.
plan we
Right.
have, okay. So, but many argue that with the high rental in cities and towns, in long run, okay, if I will pay, okay, in long run, own a house is less expensive than renting one. Exactly.
Yes.
Is that clear to you?
Yes, sir. Owning a
Then,
house is less
exactly.
expensive than
Then
renting one.
is that clear to you? Or either
Yes,
you can
sir.
add on the lines.
Hmm.
Okay. So if I asked you the next question, living in a single house, living in a single house, bungalow, living in a single house, bungalow, or in a flat, apartment,
Living in a single house.
bungalow, or in a flat, apartment, which one do you think is better? Which one do you think is better? I'm asking. Like living in a single house or a bungalow. Single house bungalow is one and same thing, okay? Or in a flat and apartment. So which one do you think is better? So I will give you my ideas and you can share your ideas, right? So I
All
will
right,
say
sir.
a house means, so you can start like this. Okay, I prefer flat and apartment. No.
Mm-hmm.
First, again, I'm telling you because you have to justify your question. Okay.
Statement, yes.
Yes. So, because you have to give your best and you have to leave your lasting impression in front of the examiner, right?
Right.
If I say I prefer to live in a flat rather than bungalow because the flat I think that's a good that's very good for the security system, security reasons. Okay, we have in bungalow we don't have the society, but here in the flat we have a society, we have security guard. That's fine, but
Mm-hmm.
we have to speak something extraordinary, we have to speak something best. So I
Right.
have to describe one thing. A house means different things to different people. Obviously a house means, or either you can use your own ideas after the link I will share with you, can have you can
Mm-hmm.
listen the links again and again, okay, and you can apply your own ideas. So I will say a house means different things to different people, right? Okay. It's something like what I would say, uh, we have to be very tricky. We have to use our tricks in order to answer their questions,
Right,
right?
sir. Yes.
So a house means different things to different people. So while a single house, so while
So,
a
while
single house,
single house,
house uh, suits
suits
some some people,
some,
some people find flats. The statement which is a contradict. Okay,
okay,
this is a contradictory statement, like, and you have to contradict your statement. Like a house means different things to different people, right? So while a single house suits some,
right.
okay, maybe some people find flats more convenient, right? Is it clear to you?
Yes,
Is it
sir.
clear to you? More convenient. Now I have to
Yes.
justify this. A house may different things to different people. So while a single house suits some, and some people find flats more convenient, so I have to justify this. But many find that apartments building, but many find that apartments buildings are better for many reasons. Are better for many reasons. Is it clear to you?
Yes, sir. For
For
many
one, yes.
reasons.
For one, I'm talking for an individual person. So I'm talking for one, for an
Right.
individual. There one can socialize. For one, there one
There,
can
one
socialize
can socialize.
is with other families in the building. If you're living in an apartment, so there in apartment there is there is a building, in a one
Right.
building maybe there's 10 and 11 families, so you can socialize with other families in the
Right.
building, right?
Other
uh
families in the building.
yes, okay, in the buildings, okay. uh this is especially true for children. This is especially for children. Is that clear
True
to you?
for the children.
Right. Another reason is that, another reason, देखो मैं चीज बताता हूँ.
Yes,
Whatever
sir.
question, whatever question raised by
Mm-hmm.
the examiner, don't try
Mm-hmm.
to rush with this question. Like
Okay.
whenever you will give your statement as an answer, don't rush, please. You
Right.
have to be very emphasize, think over, and you have to very judge. You have to judge the question first in order to encounter their question. Is it clear to you? Is it clear to you? right? So another reason is that
Yes.
is that
That
in most apartment services, in most apartment,
mo-
most apartments, and the reason is that in most apartment we have a services like water, right? Electricity, garbage disposal, plumbing, paying bills, okay? Plumbing,
okay.
paying bills, anything, okay? Are
Right.
taken care by a common arrangements. Is it clear to you?
Right.
Are
Yes,
taken
bro.
care by common arrangements. Is it clear to you?
Yes, so.
Now I have to justify what I will say. But many finds that, but many finds that, many finds that do not allow them the privacy or freedom. That do not allow them. See, it
Do
is just I'm
not
giving
allow
you my
them.
ideas, right? Allow them
Mm-hmm.
the privacy, the
The privacy.
privacy, privacy of freedom, privacy of freedom that they would have in a single house. That they would have in a single house. Is that clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Read it one more time. Okay. But
Yes,
many find
exactly.
that,
To would have in a single
but
house.
many find that do not allow them. Because if you're living in an apartment, for example, I am just living in
Hmm.
front of your house. So that's a, in one floor we
Right.
can have four apartment. In one floor we can have a 10 apartment. One floor we can have two apartments. So,
Right.
but do not allow them the privacy of freedom. Maybe someone,
Right.
yeah.
Yes.
Uh, See, because maybe it will disturb your freedom and the privacy that would have in a single house. Is that clear to you?
Right, sir.
Okay. Okay. And a single house has the merits, and a single house has the merits that